Hey guys, Nick from Surf Fishing in SoCal. Been a while, but we're getting back to it. Figured since it's been a while and I finished the San Diego Beaches series, one, if you guys have suggestions for future videos, let me know. But two, I'm just gonna do a general overview on how to go surf fishing. So surf fishing how to. So I'm gonna start to finish. First things first, gonna be going over the rigging. So this is just general gear kind of overview. You don't need to get exactly what I got. I actually go back and forth between Pursuit for the lower end stuff. I like the Casking Sharky a lot. You can go as a battle, spin fisher, whatever you want, but a 3000 series reel is fine. I'm using 4000 today. Anything between the two is good. The rod is the Okuma SST. You can see the specs here. 8.6. This is the medium, 8 to 17 pounds. You can see there. See all the specs there. It's an 8.5 foot rod, obviously. And then we'll go Carolina rig. So we've got 15-pound main line here, running to, let's focus here. So 15-pound main line running up here to a swivel right here, about 8 millimeters, I think. Maybe it's 12 millimeters, I forget. But look at the size of here, you can compare. A little bead for protection, 1 ounce weight. 15-pound fluorocarbon to a number 2 mosquito hook. You can go number 4 if you want to go downsize, but 2 to 4 is generally what you want to stick with. And this is just the Carolina rig. All right, so next on the list is reading the surf and fishing to the structure. So I've gone out here. It's a moderate rising tide, but generally speaking, if you're looking out at this wave, you got white water breaking. And for whatever reason, there's no break right here. It fizzles out there completely. I don't know if you're gonna pick that on the camera. You can rewind if you saw. Just follow the white water that breaks. We'll do another one here. And it's right here. There's no break right here. I'm looking at the camera too, so I'm pinpointing it. So if we just watch, say, this big wave that's about to start breaking, it hasn't started breaking, it hasn't started breaking, and it's gonna break right about now. Right there, it's breaking. Okay, and it's breaking a little bit here, but right in that gap, it's struggling a lot, and even behind it, it's not gonna break. Now it might seem subtle to you guys, but that's a legitimate hole right there. There's either, I could be wrong, there could be a reef there, but there's some sort of structure in here that's causing irregular breaks, and that's a really good place to start. Try it out. If nothing looks good, if you don't get any bites, then so be it. Move on. So right in front of me here is another really good example. And a lot of times in surf fishing, you're not really casting that far. So if you just look, this really barely breaking wave right here, right on this left side for me, it doesn't break much. Watch this clean white water. Watch where it pulls back. See it pull back there? Right there. And now all the way here. So we know this whole section right here just dips down. And right here, where it breaks on the shore is where the hole ends. So watch this clean white wave again. Now it's pulling back. It pulls back here first. Now it pulls back here. And all this is clean water. Where the clean water is, it's deeper water. So again, another example, this really uniform white wave. It peels back, so we know that there's no power for that wave to hold that crest. And when it regains that crest, that means it basically got shallower and the wave just tumbled on itself. And I say there's no power because the wave needs basically a bottom to push off of to create that white wave and that crest. And when it gives out the bottom, all the power goes down. So all the water sinks down and it doesn't have the footing to create that wave. So all these little troughs and holes is what we're looking for. So this section is a really good place to start. All right, so getting into it, I'm gonna be following this kind of as as I would guide somebody, but also I've got this article that I realized I was going through the other day. It does a really good job of outlining everything you do when you go out surf fishing. And I covered the gear. Next thing I'm gonna cover is the bait, finding your bait, and then I'll go into reading the surf and go from there, and I'll give you an in-depth tutorial on how to go surf fishing. So the bait is right here. You can see we're a little early in the season. This is April 30th. 2025. So the sand crabs are a bit small, but by no means too small to use. So I'll show you here. If I just look in here, you can see the waves as the water comes up. You see all those little indents. All those little indents, that's all sand crabs. So I'll come up here. They're still up here this way. It's just easier to not be in the water. Just gonna dig in there. You can see them all running around. A size like this, that's perfect. A little small in general, but it'll do. So just a few scoops there. Take it to the water. We'll just sift her out. And I'm just gonna take a little plastic baggie. These things breathe through their skin, so as long as they stay a little moist, they'll be fine. But I'll take this guy, I'll take this guy. Point this down. I don't know if I got that on camera, but for instance, this is a really good size one. This one doesn't have roe, but this is a soft shell crab. You can see how it's kind of translucent. The one that had roe, just so I can make sure I got it on camera, this guy right here, that orange stuff underneath, beautiful, perfect size sand crab. So all these guys are good. And to be honest, like when it's even earlier in the season and I can't find anything sizable, these are by no means too small. Throw 4 of those on a hook, you're good. But I'll kind of scoop a few in here. Make sure I get all the decently sized ones at least. Scoop a few extra in there and I'll just dump the rest. And I'll take probably 1 or 2 more scoops here. All right, so we've covered the gear and tackle, we've covered getting the bait, and we've covered reading the surf. And now we've kind of found that first spot that we want to start in. It's got all this choppy water and all this, I mean, you watch these waves out here. That white wave means shallow water. And then once it gives out, ready, it's starting to peel back, and now there's no white crest here. A little bit there, it was a bigger wave, but you can see the smooth water. That's deeper water. When it folds over, that's the end of it. So anywhere in between where it gave out and where it folds over, we've got this whole big nice trough in front of us. So we'll go ahead and now hook the bait. So I'm gonna go ahead and reach in my pocket, grab either 1 or 2. This is a good 1 size crab. So we've got that orange roe, beautiful, perfect. And whenever we got a perfect 1 size hooker crab right here, we go ahead and take the shank like this. We've got the eyes facing this way, the butt facing this way, and the roe right under this digger. We'll take it just like this, pierce it in the center right in that little white line area, and hide the point of the hook in the roe, just like that. That's what we want right there. And that way, 9 times out of 10, these fish are biting that roe and taking that digger off and going for all the legs in there in the roe. And the way I see it is you increase your likelihood of hooking up if you hide that hook right where they're biting. So from there, we'll give it a first cast. And I'm feeling the bottom here. I haven't fished this beach in quite some time. It definitely feels like there's some sort of hard structure. When there's hard structure, you don't typically want to fish in it. With Carolina rig and sand crabs, you get snagged, and a lot of the target species for sand crabs are more so looking for that sandy bottom. The reef structure is more so for halibut, sand bass, calico bass, white sea bass. But we're gonna feel this out, see how much reef I'm actually fishing. So we can actually see here, I was definitely feeling a lot of hard bottom, but I got bit clearly. Whenever you see that digger completely gone and the eggs completely exposed, you know for sure you got bit. Nothing else really does that. Usually I'd re-bait this, but since the roe is still there, I'm just gonna leave it on and recast. And then the other next step we'll get into, and I'll talk about it throughout the day, but keeping tension is probably the most, and I don't want to say challenging, but it's one of the most important things to figure out, and it's one that comes in with time. But you're constantly, you see how I'm dipping my rod there? I'm not actually doing that, the ocean is doing that. You have constant pushes and pulls of the current. And whenever it dips down like that, if it's a smooth little pull, it's not a fish, it's just the current or some sort of catch on my line, whether it's seaweed, current, whatever it might be. And I want to make sure I let the ocean do what it wants to do with that, and I don't interfere with that, so that I can continuously keep really good tension on the line throughout that, and not pull my weight and dislodge it from wherever it is or wherever the ocean is putting it, kind of. So if I feel a subtle pull, I let it tug my rod down, and whenever it gets to the point where it's slack, I'll actually see how it just naturally rises. That's the tension that I'm just applying to my rod, and my wrist just naturally rises it up when I feel a lack in tension. And this is kind of key. You don't want to get in the habit of, oh, there's slack in my line, let me reel it in. Because for every push, typically there's a pull, and vice versa. So if you do get a lot of slack in your line, use that rod tip first to manage it. And likely, before you'd have to reel, it will pull you right back out. You will have maintained tension that entire time. I hope that makes sense, but I'll continuously do it throughout the day. And if you have questions about it, drop them in the comments for sure. We're getting some nibbles. Here we are. A decent tug. Nothing crazy. See what we got. Little corbina. Beautiful fish. Send her back. So yeah, that was right into this, you can see where the whitewater is here. Right over that, there's a deeper section where the waves don't break. So you see it right there, whitewater just cresting, but it peels back completely, struggles. That's the deep spot where it's over right now. And then it gets shallow right there. So anything past where it crashes, there's this big deep trough, and that's where I was thrown in. That was pretty instantaneous, so we'll see. I'll throw this big guy in there. We'll see if I get hit right away on this one too. Make sure I'm still going. Perfect. Wait for that wave to pass. Drop it right over. Flip that bail right away, and now I've got tension. And I'm just waiting for that nibble. Current's moving me a little bit, so I'm just walking with it. I'm walking to the right as it's moving me to the right. I'm just basically keeping that line straight ahead of me. And I know this trough goes for quite some time, so I'm in. There we are, nibble right there. Couple more. We're waiting for that, waiting for it to really tug me down. Right now I think it's just there we go, it's a little more, just feeling it out. And gosh, we need just a little bit more than that. We need like a as opposed to a there we are. We're on. That's another decent pull. I think that's a bit bigger than the last one actually. That's a nice fit. Heck yeah. Ooh, much nicer. And you can see even these big fish, you might feel like you're just getting nibbled by something, but these bigger fish can deceive you with how much they like to nibble away at it. Really nice fight. I'm just gonna work it in with the waves here. If it fights again against me, I'll just see him letting it pull the drag out there. But if I get the opportunity with this wave, I'm gonna try and bring her in. Oh, it's a nice one. Looks like a spotty. I'll use this final wave. Oh man. Come on. Beautiful fish. Beautiful fish. That's a beauty. Great fish. Again, that was right in that hole. Yeah, they've got these nasty gill plates that'll get you. But again, beautiful fish. Spot fin croaker, probably 17 inches. They get sizably bigger than this, but by no means is this something not to be proud about. This is a nice fish. It's a beautiful spot fin croaker. I'll throw him right back in. Again, these are kind of beautiful conditions. It's pushing me right at first, now it's pushing me left. Current's not too bad at all. It's kind of going back and forth. There might have been another little tap. Yeah, that's definitely another little tap. Waiting for it. And there we are. Oh, nope. Are we? Yeah, we are. We are on. Definitely a smaller fish. Well, 3 fish and they're all different species. It's always cool. All very good hook sets. Right in the side of the mouth. This is a barred surf perch. They definitely get bigger than that, but nonetheless. So last 3 casts have all resulted in fish. That's a very good sign. Got that summertime bite turning on. It's been a slow start to the season, so this is a breath of fresh air. That was quick as heck. Wow. We are on a decent bite, that's for sure. I didn't even have great tension on that. It just took it. 4 fish, 4 different species. Beautiful. That is super cool. So this is a yellowfin croaker. That's a small one. Very cool. Definitely hit like one. No second guessing, just decisive taking the bait. So 4 casts, 4 fish, pretty solid. At least in the last little bit of time. Took a little bit to find this spot, but it looks solid now. We are. That was a late hook set on my part, but you can see it was pretty much already on. It's another smaller fish. And when it's small like this, I don't really try to let it fight me. I'm just gonna bring it in. Surf perch. Still ended up being a good hook set. That was a full take for sure. Still a smaller fish, so we haven't had anything come close to what the spot fin croaker thought, but this, I mean, this is actually not so bad, unless I'm hung up on seaweed with it. It looks like it might have just broken through the seaweed. It's sea elephant croaker. These guys are hard hitters, not the best fighters. Hook is a little deep, but I should not have a problem getting that out. Give myself a little slack and we'll be good to go. Another one. That was also a pretty sloppy hook fit. You see how, I mean, you don't have to be perfect. This one, if I had to guess, is the yellowfin croaker. It was a nice hit, not a great fight. Oh, it's a small corbina. Okay. 2 corbina, that's always cool to see. They're definitely showing up. I mean, between a couple medium corbina and spot fin croaker, they're definitely showing up. Oh, okay. I was playing around with the GoPro there. Totally missed the initial taps. But it's not a terrible fish. Decent. There you go. Another small corbina. I mean, medium small. It's a little deep. Good size corbina. Good fight for the medium size. That was a solid hit. Hit like a croaker. Much fight either, so there's that yellowfin croaker. Man, I miss these little guys. The willingness to hit and to hit hard is just a beautiful thing. He felt the progress and he just didn't stop. That's too funny. Not a bad one. This was a medium to short cast, right in this trough. That's a good fish. Just gotta get it out of the trough on this wave here. Oh, is that a yellow? That's a chunky yellow. Whew. Love to see that. Love to see that. That's a pretty fish. It's not like the biggest fish. I mean, it's probably only 12 inches. The 12-inch yellow are nice. I mean, the biggest I've ever got, I think, was 17 or 18. And anything above 12, they fight pretty well. They hit real good. But great fish. Beautiful fish, actually. Man, healthy looking fish.